Welcome to another video, guys. We already have some patch leaks, and tomorrow we should really see what those notes are gonna be looking like, and maybe it's even gonna be launching tomorrow or on Thursday, I'm not sure about that just yet. But in this video we will look at all of the buffed and nerfed cards that are getting teased on Twitter right now, so you guys have a better idea what the meta will be shaping up like. So if you're serious about Hearthstone, drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget you can have me for some Hearthstone coaching. Now, let's check out the patch teaser.
You are not prepared!
So as you guys can see, there are gonna be tons of buffs, but also quite a few nerfs, so let's get into it. The first nerf is gonna be on the Splish Splash Dragon, and yeah, honestly that thing was a little bit too good. Like, it's basically better than Miracle Growth, because it literally has a body attached to it and it's 1 mana cheaper, so I'm assuming maybe it's gonna become a 2/2 free drop or something like that. Like, that kinda sounds fair to me, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's the change we see on that little dragon. It was definitely very good. It was the best card in the deck, basically, and yeah, if you get this on curve, it is gonna be very easy for you to most of the time win. The other nerf is gonna be the Desert Nest Matron, and that's a 4 mana 3/5 Taunt Dragon that you could have dropped and refreshed your mana if you were holding a dragon, and let's face it, you're always holding a dragon, you're a dragon druid in most cases. So I'm really not sure what they're gonna be doing here. Like, they have plenty of different fronts they could work on. They can reduce it down to a 2/4, they can make it refresh only 3 mana. Plenty of things can happen here. I'm really not sure what the best approach to this guy would be, but he was definitely feeling way too OP as basically a 0 mana 3/5 taunt. Like, that's just huge. So anyway you slice it, this card was way too good for its time, and yeah, let's call it a 2/4, and maybe that might tone it down a little bit, but honestly they can go either way, so we're just guessing here what can happen. We're also seeing that the Arcane Worm, the 1 mana 1/2 that gives you an Arcane Bolt, is also gonna get slapped, and here I'm not sure, like, what are they gonna do? Make it a 2-drop? 2 mana 1/2, still give you Arcane Bolt? Sounds kind of fine to me, honestly. Like, Rainbow Mage right now has way too many good 1-drops. They can plop on turn 1, like they have the 2/2 that gives you the 0 mana, the 2/1 trap mechanic, and this guy was also very dominant, played on turn 1, so I think bumping it to 2 mana might be the way to go with that one, and god knows mages are still gonna be running this crap if they want to be OTKing people, so yeah, I think 2 mana 1/2 should be fair, honestly. We're also seeing that the Shaman Highlander weapon is also gonna get slapped, and sitting at 2/9, that is a little bit too busted in it. I'm not sure if just making it a 1/9 is gonna be enough. Maybe a 1/8, something along those lines can get toned down. Maybe it's not gonna be able to go face anymore. Like, they can definitely go very creative with this guy, and yeah, it's anyone's guess what can happen with this one, but I think a 1/8 is maybe a safe approach, because sitting at 2/9, that's literally potentially 18 damage to the mouth, not to mention those Froggos are nice and juicy, so there's that. We can also see that Pally is getting slapped nicely, and both Keeper's Strength and Prismatic are gonna get toned down, probably quite a bit. I think 5 mana Keeper's Strength sounds like the way to go, and what can you even do to Prismatic Beam to make it a little bit worse? Like 2 damage AoE? That would kind of destroy it now, wouldn't it? Like, entirely negates the combo potential with the showdown, so maybe 9 mana? Like, let's not forget this is a 7 mana, so going up to 9, you're actually gonna have to work to drop this relatively early, and even on a full board it's still gonna be costing you 2 mana, so maybe 9 mana for Prismatic is the way to go. I don't know, like, don't quote me on that one, but I think 9 mana would be fair. Also, don't sleep on this minus here. This basically means that Fire Druid is deleted. Like, they're banning this for Standard, as that was happening. Definitely looks like it, so this is basically straight up in the nerf, but even harder, because literally unplayable. So Fire Druid has lived a full life. For anybody wondering why I didn't pick up the deck, it's because decks like that never really last all that long. They just get slapped to the ground, and even beyond here, like, it got slapped into wild right there. Moving down to the buffs, we have tons of buffs, and I'm not really sure what all of these cards are, but I've opened up most of them so we can look at them and maybe speculate what's gonna be happening with those. And we're starting off with Ma and Pa, sitting at 4 mana, it's a Blood and Unholy, and at the end of your turn, gain 5 corpse, at the start of your turn, spend 5 corpse to give your hero plus 5 health, and yeah, this card definitely looked like it's gonna be a pretty cool one, but honestly, the Unholy rune I think is what's really making it unplayable right now, and if we just get rid of the Unholy, maybe slap it with a Blood, that's gonna solve the problem, so... Personally, I think that would be my proposal here, because I guess you could be slapping this in a Rainbow Death Knight and call it a day, but I'm really not sure about that. So yeah, I think they should just make it double blood and call it a day, like, sounds fair to me. We also have Climatic Necrotic Explosion, which is a 10 mana rainbow card. Lifesteal, deal 5 damage, summon 2 1/1 souls, randomly improved by corpses you've spent. And what can you even do about this spell, man? Like, reduce the mana, question mark? Deal 10 damage from the start, perhaps? Something along those lines? Corpses you've spent, like, I mean, you can spend quite a lot of corpses with the new cards Death Knight received, so maybe dropping this to 9 mana is the way to go, because if you touch the other things, I think they're already quite decent on that front, but I don't know, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. Pip is also getting buffed, and it's copying each 1-cost card in your hand, which can be quite crazy good. Not sure if you can really touch the effect all that much. She is sitting at a free 5, a 4 mana free 5, like what can you do with those? Maybe bump it down to a free mana free 4 or something like that. That is gonna make her a little bit quicker and whatnot, so that might do it. But yeah, Pip going to a free mana free 4 sounds like not a bad thing for the cards, and I'd assume that's what's happening. Elise Badlands Savior is a 8 mana 5/5 Highlander card. If your deck has no duplicates, summon 4 copies of 4 random minions in your deck, and I don't know, like, what can you even do with this one? Like, the effect is kind of weird on its own. Yeah, you can summon off your Colossal that way easily, you can summon off your Titan that way easily, but the payoff for you being Highlander, not that great in most situations. I don't know, man, call me crazy, but maybe slapping it down to 7 mana should make it feel somewhat more fair. That might be it. Like, right now she's competing with Reno, so that's a little bit iffy. So yeah, I think 7 mana 5/5, same stats, same everything, should be maybe the way to go. Popgar, the Warlock Legendary 4 mana 2/6, your fell spells cost 1 less and have Lifesteal, Battlecry, get 2 barrels of sludge. Wonder what's happening here, honestly. Like, what could you even do to this card? Like, if you make this for the rest of the deck, that's just gonna be broken. Like, it's gonna go from trash to Hellia material right there. But honestly, maybe the deck really needs a little bit of huge support like that. Like, just as Plague Decay needs her Hellia, maybe the Sludge Warlock needs this to become a permanent effect. And if that happens, that's gonna be kind of crazy good, isn't it? Like, all of your fell spells having lifesteal, that's gonna be infinite sustain. I don't know, maybe 5 mana, but make it permanent. Then again, it wouldn't have been just in the buff, it would have been in the reworked or balanced section or something like that. So, I don't know, maybe it's gonna be 4 mana, same stats, but it's gonna be permanent effects. Kind of scared for that line of buff, but maybe that's what's gonna happen. We also have the Warrior Titan getting buffed, and honestly that card didn't really feel like it needs a buff. Like, call me crazy, but it felt kinda on the okay situation. It wasn't too OP, but it was definitely seeing a not super good amount of play, but still a decent amount. Especially in Highlander, you definitely always ran this. You ran this in Control in most cases too, so I think nothing too crazy should happen here. Maybe it's gonna become a 4/5. Like 6 mana Chillwind Yeti, anyone? Sounds good to me, and you can make it into a 4/10 instantly, a 9/5, something like that. So yeah, maybe just bumping it a little bit on the health area could be the way to go there. We also have Rodden, which is another legendary card that didn't really see all that much play. It's a priest, 6 mana 5/5. Death Rattle, summon each other minion you've played this game that didn't start in your deck. And honestly, that never really felt like all that worth card to be actually playing. It's on a Death Rattle, so that's actually absolutely useless. It doesn't even have a taunt attached to it. It can get silenced. Maybe it's gonna become a battle cry. Maybe it's gonna get a taunt. Like, does that sound fair to you guys? Like, making a 5 mana 5/5. That can also work, I guess, but honestly, making this into a battle cry might make it into an actual playable card, and I would actually be interested to see this becoming a battle cry, but I guess time will tell what happens there. Slagma is yet another legendary that nobody has ever played in their life, basically. It's a 4-mana 16/16 elemental beast, and it has Rush Taunt, but it starts dormant for 8 turns, and after you excavate, it becomes 2 turns sooner. I don't know, how can you even change this? Like, you want to be excavating in the early turns, so maybe making this into a free mana is gonna help you actually play it out faster and then start excavating, because sitting at 4 mana, ain't nobody got time for that. Like, 3 mana tops, or at least drop the dormant down to a 6. That might also work, but I think dropping it to a 3 mana might be the way to go. Now we're moving down to some spells, which haven't seen all that much play. Starting off with the 4 mana invasive Shade Leaf is a deal 8 damage to an enemy minion and save any excess in a 1-cost bottle. Sitting at 4 mana seems a little bit too pricey, so I think we're just gonna tone it down to a 3 mana, sounds about right. We also have this 3 mana neutral mech that nobody played ever. 3 mana 2/2 mech, Battlecry, deal 2 damage to a random enemy minion, quick draw, and one of its neighbors. I think it should lose the random tag, honestly. Random cards like that, like what good is it if it's gonna deal to a neighbor when it's absolutely random like that? I think it should become to an enemy minion instead of random enemy minion. So I think that would be a decent proposal. We also have the 3 mana 3/3 rogue legendary Velrock Windblade. While this is in your hand, play 3 cards from other classes to reveal Velrock's true form. Honestly, I don't even know what the true form is. And yeah, its true form is a 3 mana 3/6 dragon, and it has charge. After this attacks, discover a card from another class. It costs 3 less. That's kind of cute. Surprising that it didn't see absolutely any play, honestly. But maybe the burgle requirement is a little bit too high. Maybe it's gonna be only 2 cards from other classes to reveal the true form. That sounds about right. Like, what else would you want to change? Like, the charge mechanic is already busted. Stats are looking decent. The effect is looking nice. So I think the requirement is what's really holding this back, because not only do you have to discover 2 cards from different classes, you also have to play them, so that might take a while. So yeah, let's call it 2 cards and see how that go. We also have the 4 mana Warlock spell Furnace Fuel. Whenever this is played, discarded or destroyed, draw 2 cards. And we haven't really seen all that much in terms of discard action happening. So I don't know, like, moving this down to 3 mana, God knows it's not meant to get played from hand, so I'm not really sure that's gonna help all that much, but maybe drawing 3 cards is gonna give it that sweet spot, so that would be my bet here, like bumping this up to 3 cards. Sounds like a good amount of draw. And we also have Shell Game, a 3 mana rogue spell, get a random epic, rare, and common card from other classes, and let's just slap this down to 2 mana, and maybe that's gonna give it some playability, maybe even at 1 mana, but that might be a little bit too busted. I'm not sure which card this is. Surely I could find it. Definitely looks very familiar. I think it was from Festival of Legends, but right now I just can't find it, so let's not talk about it. We also have the Warlock Excavation reward, the Scorpion. Maybe it's gonna get bumped up, sucking 9 damage now. Like, I think toning it down to 7 is just a bit too much. Bumping it even to 8 or even 9 is going to require 1 less suck for you to actually kill your opponent like that if they cannot gain health back. So that might actually be the way to go. So yeah, 8 or 9 damage from the Suck Scorpion sounds about right to me. And I'm not even sure which frog this was. Like, it looks so freaking familiar, but I just can't remember it. Is this the Sludge? Was this the 2 mana deal 3 damage Sludge? If that's the case, maybe it's gonna go down to 1 mana. That would be my guess, but I just can't remember what card this was. Like, definitely looks like the Sludge though. So I guess we might actually see even more Sludge support. But yeah, quite the interesting buffs and nerfs. Definitely a lot of nerfs, and these buffs are gonna allow some different classes to actually start seeing some extra play. But with Dragon Druid reducing in power, with Rainbow Mage, Highlander Shaman, and God knows Pally getting reduced quite a lot, and the Fire Druid getting out of the way, we should be seeing a lot more different stuff coming out. Like, I'm assuming Highlander decks should become even more popular, aside from I mean, Highlander Shaman honestly is still gonna be busted. Like, the weapon was cool and all, but let's face it, very rarely you got the swing more than a few times before you got Vipered, or just never got the swing because you didn't draw it, or you just weren't Highlander anymore because of plagues and whatnot. So Highlander Shaman should still be very fine. Like, the deck is still very strong. I actually made a video about it recently where we reached top 5 Kandi with it, and yeah, it felt amazing as hell. But yeah, buffing all of these cards, it might open up some room for creativity for sure. Really comes down to what exactly those buffs are though, because right now we're just speculating, but tomorrow, same time, same place, we will be able to see the exact buffs and nerfs, and then we can really start discussing what is going to be happening. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you think these buffs and nerfs are going to be and what you're excited about. If you're serious about Hearthstone, drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to get happy for some Hearthstone coaching. Thanks for watching, I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.